What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you a discussion video on Christian Wilkins signing to the Raiders. Did they overpay for the big man this offseason? Let's get into it, guys. Before we get started, you know what to do. Hit the comment section down below. Yes, no, you can go into a sentence or a paragraph if you want to. Did they overpay for Christian Wilkins? So if you don't know, Christian Wilkins signed to the Raiders for a 4-year deal, $110 million, $84.75 million guaranteed. For me personally, my answer is they didn't overpay for him. They did not. I think it's worth the money, and for me, this video, I'm pushing the tagline, I'm pushing the mantra of you can't overpay for happiness. That's the mantra for this video, in my opinion. You cannot overpay for happiness, and not Christian Wilkinson's happiness, but Max Crosby's happiness, the fan base happiness, Antonio Pierce, the head coach's happiness, Devontae Adams' happiness. You have to keep your big dogs happy, and the Raiders are often accused and proven to be right. Of the people accusing them are proven to be right as far as bad spending, bad draft picks. But this to me isn't that. Paying the big man this amount of money is needed because they needed to get Max Crosby help for the last handful of years, and they could not find the perfect guy to do so. They drafted Tyree Wilson with a top 10 pick last year, I think pick 6, pick 7. Bijan went 8, if I'm not mistaken, to my Falcons. They picked Tyree Wilson, I think, with pick 7. He didn't pan out. He showed no flashes of nothing last year. So, that's scary. Then you have Chandler Jones trade from a couple years ago. He gave you nothing and he went crazy, and then now he's off the team. So it's like, it's really Max Crosby and a bunch of, no disrespect, but no name guys or just role players, and you had a guy last year. I can't pronounce his last name. I don't want to mess it up. So out of respect for him, say his first name, Malcolm K. I'll say that. He had a pretty good year last year as someone came out of a underrated, un what's the word I'm trying to find? Not underrated, but more of a unknown player. He came and showed up and showed out last year, helping out Max Crosby on the opposite end. So that was a pretty good showing from him last year. But outside of those two guys, no one else really played well. And that's the thing that really has to change, and this is what changes that. Now, as far as the price goes, yeah, it's a lot. And even if, and you can definitely give the argument that Christian Wilkins will decline, not decline, but go back to his normal self prior to the 2023 year. Wilkins was good, not great. In 2023, he stepped up. It is a contract year, as we all know. So, obviously, that could play a factor. And we've seen guys since the beginning of time have great contract years and haven't had a great year since. They go back to normal. So even if Christian Wilkins go back to normal prior to the 2023 year, they're going to get the best D tackle they've had in years. So even still, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? It'd be overpay. It'd be overpaid in that situation because you're not getting Aaron Donald type, Justin Simmons type, Dexter Lawrence type of production from one of those guys. But you are getting still, like as I said, probably the best D tackle the Raiders have had in a good little while. So if he does revert back to the 2022-2021 Christian Wilkins, which wasn't a slouch, but wasn't top notch as he was last year. So for me, getting Max Crosby help was priority number one. Tied up there as well with finding a quarterback, but clearly, Russell Wilson went to the Steelers. The Raiders were never really in play for Kirk Cousins. So who else will they get? We're left to see, will they target Justin Fields, whose market has gone kind of dry. As I said, his market. I did a video on him a couple days ago. A video with him, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones, just discussing their future and how it could potentially look. And I mentioned, I don't know if Justin Fields finds a home as far as a starting home this year. He might have to go somewhere and be a backup, somewhere and be a role player, learn the game. But we all expected, at least I did, that he would potentially, be a starter somewhere, but that might not be the case. The Raiders might be the last chance for him to start somewhere. Raiders, maybe the Vikings. Those are literally probably the last two stops for him to be a starter at. And as I said in that video, I don't know if Luke Getsy, Raiders' new OC, will want to bring in Justin Fields. So we'll see how that goes, guys. But overall, I get I get the money is a lot for some people, because the first thing I seen on social media when I was watching was holy overpay and overpay and all that stuff. It's social media talk for you, people just being funny with it. But some people were dead serious. They gave examples, they gave reasons why, and I get it. But if you're the Raiders, and a Raiders fan, I think you should be happy because whatever version of Christian Wilkins you get, 2021, 2022, 2023 is going to be an upgrade at that spot, something y'all haven't had to pair with Max Crosby since he's been there, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'm not a Raiders fan. I don't know them inside and out, but I'm pretty sure they haven't had anyone that good that panned out, actually. They brought people in like Chandler Jones that should have been that good, but he didn't turn out to be that good long term or even short term. So he had that 5-sack game versus Taylor Lewan a couple years ago. Then after that, he finished the year with like 7 sacks, 8 sacks. So, he didn't really do too much. Was he with the Cardinals during that season, or was it with the Raiders? I don't quite remember. But overall, though, I like the move. Long story short, I like the move a lot. This gives you confidence that okay, they're behind Pierce all the way. All right, Antonio Pierce, as we know, a former ruthless, hard hitting, trash mouth the defender back in the day for the Giants and a couple other teams. He's going to bring that same intensity on defense, and Christian Wilkins, along with Max Crosby, will help lead the way. And they still need more pieces. It's going to be tough paying them all that money, but I do think that the rallying behind the rallying behind Pierce last year was real. The players, and look, when the players find a guy they really like, that's when things change. Players play above and beyond. They give you a little bit of effort, a little bit more effort that they normally wouldn't give because they don't really care for the coach or they don't really care for the organization or the GM or ownership. But when you have a guy that you run through a brick wall for, I've had as a high school guy, as a college guy as well. Things are different. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. Things are different. Things change. And Pierce seems like the guy for the Raiders. Max Crosby put his Raidership on the line last year not last year, this past few months ago when he said basically the rumor was if you don't bring back Pierce, then go ahead and trade me. So that was something that most or some star players do or maybe mention or maybe hint at, and the organization said okay, and they do the opposite and still the player stays. But I think Max Crosby was dead set and dead serious on if they did not bring back Pierce, then go ahead and let me go because that's the one I want. And when Max Crosby been doing it all by himself all these years, you have to respect it. In my opinion, you have to respect it. So I definitely think it's the best case scenario for all parties. I'm going to be doing a video on the Miami Dolphins probably next oncoming days, but they're in trouble. Now, to the opposite end, the team that Christian Wilkins left, they are in big trouble because they let everybody go. Andrew Van Ginkel, some other guys I can't remember. Jerome Baker was released. They let some nice pieces go, and we'll see what happens with them. But it's definitely it's going to be tough to see what end up happening with the Miami Dolphins. Paying Tua. Will they really have to trade Jalen Waddle? That's something that might have to come down the pipeline because they need draft assets. They need to clear up money. They have Tyreek Hill's contract still on the books. Jalen Ramsey got a big contract. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But overall, I really like the move for the Raiders. Not an overpay in my opinion, but I'm not mad at people saying that. But just give it a shot. Just give it a chance. I think it will be fine in the long term. But that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.